Local 4 News starts now with a forewarned weather alert.
The roads across Metro Detroit are getting progressively worse as freezing rain continues to come down. Here's a live look at conditions in Novi at this hour. And looking live now at conditions in Ann Arbor, the western part of our viewing area expected to be one of the areas hardest hit by ice. And the ice will vary depending on where you live. As we see from these live pictures in Macomb County, it's mostly rainy and wet along Metro Parkway near I-94. Good afternoon, and thanks so much for being with us. First at 4, I'm Christy McDonald in for Karen Drew today. Let's get right to Kim Adams for a look at how this storm is progressing throughout the afternoon. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Christy. Well, you can tell just by looking at those pictures, the ice that is forming there's a bullseye over by Ann Arbor into parts of Livingston County that's got much more ice than if you go to the east side. Part of that is because of the influence of Lake Huron that does not have ice on it. We've had an easterly wind bringing in just enough warm air to where parts of Macomb County and also down into Wayne County not seeing as much in the way of ice. But it just really depends on where you are in Metro Detroit. You go up into the thumb and there's snow. So let's get into it and get some street level mapping going on right here. If you are traveling along I-96 out to Brighton, that's where there is some freezing rain and also sleet as well over into Farmington Hills and West Bloomfield. Then we're going to go over to Macomb County, north of Port Huron. Notice how it changes over to blue. That's that freezing line where we go from the freezing rain to all snow, and that continues up into the thumb. One thing we're keeping a very close eye on, the road temperatures, and they have been continuing to drop throughout the afternoon. The reason why we're so concerned about that is with freezing rain, it falls as rain, and that's what's going on around a lot of Metro Detroit, especially on the main roads. The freeways are just wet because they've been treated, and what's falling is rain. Freezing rain freezes on contact, but I have noticed over the last couple of hours that the road temps have been dropping, especially on the east side. Here's the legend up here. Anything in dark blue is just at or below freezing. That includes Monroe County, but notice the lighter blue. So right now, road temps in northern parts of Macomb County, 25 degrees, 24 over in parts of western Oakland County, and even lower than that in Washtenaw and Livingston counties, and then in downtown Detroit, just below freezing. So road temps are something that we definitely have to keep an eye on. So for the rest of today, still continuing to get freezing rain through at least 5 or 6 o'clock tonight, and then between 5 and 9 o'clock, some areas seeing a change over to just rain. That's happening right now, mainly south of I-96, and then freezing rain takes back over again once that sun sets and we get a little cooler air in here. So we're not quite done just yet, depending on where you live. It's just raining. Other places, we are seeing that ice start to accumulate. I'll have more in your forecast coming up in a few minutes. But if you want to go find out exactly what's going on in your neighborhood, the best way to do it right now is to download our Forewarn Weather app. That way you have interactive radar right in the palm of your hand. And when you type in your city, it will actually alert you as to what type of precipitation is falling in your neighborhood. Just go to your favorite app store and type in WDIV.
All right, sounds good, Kim. We'll see you in a few minutes. Sean Lay is live in Novi right now with a look at how the freezing rain is affecting drivers there. Sean?
I tell you what, very concerning here right now, Christy. We have rain. It's light rain. We've had heavy rain. The thing is, we have had concentrating on the roads all day today. I still have to keep a close eye on them, but also now keep a close eye on trees, power lines, your car. Here's why. It's been raining now for a good hour or so. The concern is that rain is starting to freeze. It's not freezing on contact, but it's freezing once it coats something. Here's some video I took with my cell phone about 5 minutes ago. This is from Farmington Hills. You can see that ice buildup here on the mirror, here on the newsman antenna, and on the side of the newsman and the car in the parking lot there. That's freezing rain. That is the concern. That is a thick layer of freezing rain. So now we're concerned, just like DTE has been telling us about, the down power lines, down tree branches, things of that nature. Getting back to the roads, here's the situation now. If all this rain has washed the salt off, and you can see just a wet ramp here as we're on M5 getting on 96 West, we're going to get off at Novi Road. If it's washing off, we've seen great work by the road crews out here, and we get a refreeze. That is going to be very, very tricky. If you are headed home or about to head home from work or about to go pick up a loved one, got to be really, really concerned. You got to be really paying attention to the road conditions and your speed. This is not the heart of the storm quite just yet. The other thing, Christy, is wind picking up. When we got the Novi, big gusts of wind, just the start of those winds. So that could, again, bring down power lines and trees. It could help things freeze on your car or the roadway. So this is a concern right now heading into the evening hours.
Rapidly changing, Sean. We appreciate it. We know the road crews are out and they're watching as well as the evening progresses. All right, thanks. We're going to move on now west to Ann Arbor. Megan Woods is getting a look at the roads there. Megan, are you seeing ice yet?
Not yet. We're seeing a lot of rain. The roads are wet, but we are seeing ice on trees develop. This is here in Ann Arbor. You can see icicles forming. And just to give you an idea of how thick it is, this branch was already on the ground and you could see how much ice is developed on there. And it's not just on the tree branches. We're starting to see it on street signs as well. And that can be concerning when we talk about what we're expecting on the roads later tonight. So even though it's wet right now, that ice can develop very quickly as it is getting colder out here. So pay attention, take some time, slow down when you're out there on the roads. We have seen salt trucks on standby, but again, right now the roads are okay. They're just wet, but we know that can quickly change. This is just the beginning. That's right now live in Ann Arbor. I'm Megan Woods, Local 4.
All right, thanks so much. A little concerning, though, to see the ice on those tree branches there. Tim Pamplin has already spotted several cars that slid off the road as he was going around the area today. Let's check in live with him. All right, Tim, where are you now?
Christy, we finally managed to get onto US 23. If you were with us for the last few hours on Local 4 Plus with our live streaming coverage of the storm, you saw that we've traveled from 75 696 westbound out to 96, now US 23 Livingston County area. As you've been hearing, roads are wet. Something I have been noticing occurring in the last hour or so is the pine trees. Lots of pine trees. Their branches are drooping. That's indicative of the icing on the branches. You just have to look up. I mean, there's the power lines. That's the next thing. So we're in it for the long haul here. This could take the next 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours as the temperatures drop and the precipitation continues to come in. We'll be on the road here for the next couple of hours to keep you updated. Back to you downtown.
All right, sounds good. Thanks so much, Tim. And Kim DeJulia was keeping an eye on how the weather is affecting traffic. All right, Kim, how's it looking out there?
Well, all morning long, we've been talking about the evening commute, and this is when people start to drive home from work. And right now, we're taking a look at I-696 and Telegraph. This is your Southfield commute, and looks like traffic volumes are very light. I know a lot of people decided to work from home today if they're able to do that. So that is the good news. Now, that ice, it really will affect your evening commute. Let's take a look at what's happening right now. So for the most part, we're in pretty good shape. But as we know, those conditions are only getting worse at this time. We've got one accident that will slow you down if you're traveling through the St. Clair Shores area. This one over on westbound I-94, right at 10 Mile. You've got 2 lanes blocked in this area, the right lane and the center lane. So if you're traveling this way, make sure you stay to the left. We're seeing speeds at just 11 miles per hour, so very slow as you approach that accident. Backups aren't bad at this time. Again, it's 4 p.m., so traffic volumes are lighter at this time because people decided to stay home. So that is the good news. But remember, if you're headed out the door right now, make sure that you are extra cautious, travel below that speed limit, and make sure that you just are cautious of everyone on the roadways this evening. Christy?
All right, sounds so good. Thanks so much, Kim. And one of the big concerns is an ice storm is down power lines and other outages. Right now, DTE says nearly 6,000 of its customers are without electricity, and that is a number that we have seen really start to climb in the past couple of hours. And here is some important advice from DTE. It really could save your life. Remember, stay 25 feet away from any downed wires. Don't touch anything that those wires may be in contact with. Here's a phone number for you. Call DTE at 1-800-477-4747 if you do see a downed line. And be aware that wires behind yellow tape might still be live. And also, another tip for you, never use a portable generator inside the home should you lose power. A lot of good things to keep in mind here as we continue to go through this storm. Air travel is a struggle today thanks to the storms that are stretching across the U.S. It's not just us, and it is definitely affecting Metro Airport. Here is a live look at DTW, and at last check, nearly 50 flights are canceled, 20 of them delayed. Brandon Rue is live at Detroit Metro with a look at the conditions there for us. Hi, Brandon. What does it look like out of the airport?
Christy, like everywhere else, it's a lot of rain, but I think we're a degree away from icy nastiness. I mean, it's all it takes is 1 degree. It was 33 degrees in our car driving all the way here, and it was not icy. And moments ago, we were seeing tons of plows out here on the McNamara taxiways and runways, but they've sort of dispersed, perhaps anticipating the worst, as over the next probably 90 minutes we lose that degree and all of this rain hits the ground as freezing rain and ice. And that is the worst kind of weather in my book anyway. So we're watching things closely. I spoke to the public information officer out here, who says our airfield operations and maintenance crews will be working around the clock to make sure the runways and taxiways are maintained. Of course, you are encouraged to check your own flight plans, and best advice for that is your airline app. If you have that, just to find out if there could be a potential delay, because Christy, as you mentioned, there are problems not only here, but all across the state. I think the airport up near Midland has been at least de-icing, if not set to close. Areas near Cleveland, LaGuardia, Newark, all experiencing problems. So we will likely be in that list of problem airports here within the next 60, 90 minutes as the ice starts to take form. Christy.
Yeah, as those conditions continue to change. All right, thanks so much, Brandon. And we will be right back with much more weather coverage for you, plus an update on one of the students hospitalized from the MSU shooting. Stay with us. I'll be right back.